push-button transmission, gasoline-powered record players, a panic button that would literally kill your engine. The 1950s gave us the wildest car features ever made, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why modern cars are nothing like this. Number 23 is absolutely insane. The 1950s were the golden age of automotive experimentation. Manufacturers were throwing everything at the wall to see what would stick, and some of these features were so bizarre, so impractical, or so downright dangerous that they vanished forever. Let's dive in. Features 1 to 10. The questionable conveniences. 1. Push-button transmission. Starting strong with Chrysler's push-button automatic transmission. Instead of a gear lever, you had a row of buttons on your dashboard. Park, reverse, neutral, drive, low. It looked like something from a spaceship, and honestly, it was pretty cool. But drivers kept hitting the wrong button in panic situations, and the mechanical complexity made them nightmare to repair. Gone by 1964. 2. Highway hi-fi record player. Chrysler again. They installed an actual record player under the dash that played special ultra-thin records at 16 and 2/3 RPM. You could listen to albums while cruising Route 66. The problem? Every single bump would make it skip. Every pothole was a scratch waiting to happen. It lasted exactly 2 years before everyone realized this was a terrible idea. 3. Swivel seats. Want to get out of your car elegantly? Several manufacturers offered front seats that would swivel outward when you open the door. You just spin and step out. Sounds convenient until you realize this added weight, complexity, and created a massive safety hazard in crashes. The seat could literally rotate during an accident. 4. Tissue dispenser. Built right into the dashboard or behind the sun visor, many 1950s cars had factory tissue dispensers, because apparently having Kleenex within arm's reach was a premium feature worth engineering into your vehicle. 5. Curb feelers. These were spring-loaded wands that stuck out from your wheel wells. When you got too close to a curb, they'd scrape and make noise to warn you. Drivers in the 50s apparently couldn't judge distance, or maybe cars were just that big. Either way, power steering and better visibility made these obsolete. 6. Foot-operated headlight dimmer. Instead of a stalk on your steering column, you'd dim your headlights with a button on the floor, left of the clutch. You'd physically stomp on it with your foot. This required coordination most drivers didn't have, and in wet weather, the switch would corrode and fail. The stock switch won for good reason. 7. Manual choke. Before electronic fuel injection, you had to manually adjust the air-fuel mixture when starting a cold engine using a dashboard knob. Pull it out, start the car, push it back in slowly. Forget to do this right. You'd flood the engine or stall out constantly. 8. Vent windows. Those small triangular windows at the front of the door that you could pivot open. They were everywhere in the 50s. Great for airflow before air conditioning was standard, but they added noise, cost, and were a weak point for thieves to break in. AC killed them. 9. Vacuum-powered windshield wipers. Here's a nightmare. Your wipers were powered by engine vacuum. So when you accelerated hard going uphill in the rain, your wipers would literally slow down or stop. The harder you pushed the gas, the slower they'd move. This defied all logic and was genuinely dangerous. 10. The Atronic Eye. Cadillac's automatic headlight dimmer used a sensor on the dash that would detect oncoming headlights and automatically dim yours. Revolutionary. Except it would also dim for streetlights, reflective signs, and literally anything bright. And it cost a fortune to repair when it inevitably broke. And we're just getting started. Wait until you see number 18. Features 11 to 20. The style over substance era. 11. Continental kits. That external spare tire mounted on the back bumper, pure style, zero function, it made the car longer, reduced rearward visibility, and the tire would deteriorate from sun exposure. But it looked luxurious, so people paid extra for it. 12. Two-tone paint jobs with chrome dividers. Manufacturers didn't just offer two-tone paint. They added chrome trim pieces to separate the colors. It looked distinctive, but every single piece of trim was another point for rust to start, another gap to collect dirt, and more cost. 13. Fake hood scoops. Non-functional hood scoops were everywhere. They didn't feed air to anything. They were just glued-on styling cues to make your sedan look faster. The 50s were all about appearance over engineering. 14. Exhaust port through bumper. Some cars routed their exhaust outlets directly through the rear bumper chrome. It looked integrated and sleek, but the heat would discolor and warp the bumper over time. Also, great way to burn someone leaning against your car. 15. Dashboard tissue dispenser. Yes, we're mentioning tissues again, because some luxury models had multiple tissue dispensers throughout the cabin. Peak luxury, apparently. 16. Illuminated hood ornaments. Premium brands offered hood ornaments that would light up when you turned on your headlights. Purely decorative, completely useless, and they'd short out constantly. But man, did they look fancy at night. 17. Gas cap behind license plate. Several manufacturers hid the fuel filler behind a hinged license plate. Clever, except the mechanism would jam, rust, or break, leaving you stuck at the gas station trying to pry open your license plate with a screwdriver. 18. Dual spotlights. Police-style spotlights mounted on both A-pillars were a dealer option on many cars. Regular civilians wanted to look official. They added drag, complexity, and most people never used them once. 19. Electric window lifts, but only rear windows. Some luxury sedans offered power rear windows, but manual front windows. The logic? Rich people sat in the back and shouldn't have to crank windows like peasants. The driver could suffer. Number 20 is the Wonder Bar radio. Just one button that automatically scanned for the next strong station. Sounds modern, except it would skip your favorite stations if the signal was weak. The last 10 are where things get truly bizarre. Features 21 to 30 are the actually dangerous and weird. 21st, metal dashboards. Most 1950s dashboards were solid metal with hard knobs, switches, and trim. Zero padding. In an accident, your face would meet unforgiving steel. This was before anyone cared about safety or not dying in minor crashes. 22. No seatbelts. Seatbelts weren't standard equipment. They were an optional extra that most people didn't buy because they thought they were unnecessary. The 50s had a very different relationship with automotive safety. 23. The Tucker torpedo, third headlight. The Tucker 48 had a center headlight that turned with the steering wheel to illuminate where you were actually going. Brilliant idea. Only 51 cars were made before the company collapsed, and the feature died with it. Modern adaptive headlights are just now bringing this back. 24. Inflatable seat cushions. Some luxury cars had air bladders in the seats that you could inflate or deflate with a hand pump for comfort. They'd leak, pop, and fail constantly. Memory foam and electric adjustments made this obsolete. 25. Rear-facing third-row seats. Station wagons often had a rear-facing bench seat in the cargo area where kids would ride backward, staring at the car behind them. No seatbelts, just vibes. This is hilariously unsafe by modern standards. 26. The panic button. Some race-inspired cars had a kill switch that would instantly cut all power to the engine. The idea was you could kill the engine in an emergency. In reality, people would hit it by accident, and suddenly you'd lose power steering, power brakes, and momentum in traffic. 27. Automatic transmission gear, position on steering column. Before center consoles, automatics had their gear selector on the steering column. This freed up bench seating space, but made it easy to knock into reverse while driving. Neutral was between drive and reverse, which was just asking for trouble. 28. Chrome bumper bullets. Decorative chrome protrusions shaped like bullets or torpedoes stuck out from bumpers. They looked aggressive, but were essentially pedestrian impaling spikes in an accident. Safety regulations killed these fast. 29th Guidematic headlights. GM's automatic headlight system that would not only dim your high beams, but also automatically turn them on at dusk. Sounds great, except the sensor was primitive and unreliable, often leaving you driving in darkness when clouds passed overhead. 30. The Dagmar bumpers. Named after a busty TV personality, these were cone-shaped protrusions on Cadillac bumpers in the early 50s. They were supposed to look like jet aircraft intakes, but looked like, well, you get it. Beyond being questionable in taste, they were dangerous in collisions and utterly impractical. The 1950s gave us some of the most beautiful, most innovative, and most absolutely bizarre automotive features in history. These cars had personality, even if that personality sometimes included killing your engine randomly or impaling pedestrians with chrome spikes. Modern cars might be safer and more reliable, but they'll never be this weird. Which feature shocked you the most? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this trip back to automotive insanity, smash that like button and subscribe for more classic car content. Next video, we're diving into the 1960s muscle car features that were equally wild. See you there.